So, Hollywood really wants to know if you intend to go back to the movie theaters ever. And I think that the people that own the theaters probably want to know the answer to that question too. Fortunately, EDO has done a study, and it comes up with some disappointing results.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the Culture Casino!
In what was really just a matter of time at this point, Hollywood commissioned a study from EDO, which is actually owned by Ed Norton. At least part of it is anyway. They commissioned this study to find out if moviegoers were going to go back to the theaters once we were past all of this mess that we're in. Deadline published this today in an exclusive, and here's the headline. Moviegoers highly likely to return to theaters upon reopening, but more than half will wait a bit, study suggests. Now, I'm not someone who, studies people's ability to be wordsmiths or spin or anything like that, but I pay attention to it, and that sounds an awful lot like spin to me. But we'll read the article. Exclusive. A majority of moviegoers definitely plan to head back to the movie theaters once the thing we're dealing with quells. However, 56% of those will take their time. There are some conclusions that were unveiled Wednesday in an analytics company, EDO's Social Distancing, Moviegoing, and TV Habits report. It polled 6,800 respondents nationwide last week, between March 24th and 28th, largely moviegoers, on their home viewing habits during this quarantine time, as well as their readiness to return to the cinema. In promising news for exhibitors and studios, more than 70% of those polled indicated that they were likely to return to theaters once they reopened, with a substantial 45% saying that they were highly likely. In fact, you can see the little chart that EDO put together here. At the same time, a combined 45% said that they would come back very soon, broken down as 20% returning immediately, 25% a few days later. However, 45% said that they would wait a few weeks to head back to the cinema once they reopen, with 11% of respondents saying that they would wait several months. I'm sure that wasn't very settling for some. Overall, since movie theaters closed, about 75% of those in the study said that they were likely to purchase movies on demand. Following exhibitions shut down, many studios had no choice but to fast-track their current theatrical titles into the home window, such as movies like Onward, Sonic the Hedgehog, Invisible Man, Bloodshot, The Hunt, and more. Over the Easter weekend, Universal is making Trolls World Tour available for a 48-hour rental period at $19.99. U.S. and Canadian exhibitors began closing down March 16th, and at this point in time could remain shuttered until early June. I strongly suspect we're looking at the middle of June, perhaps even July at this point, but that's not in the story. This occurred in tandem as major studios began removing their event films from their spring schedule, with MGM's No Time to Die, Disney's Mulan, and The Black Widow being pulled, as well as Paramount's A Quiet Place Part 2. More pulling out of their release dates even after that. As you can see here, this chart shows the likelihood to purchase an on-demand movie, which is obviously quite high. Those polled by EDO skewed female, of course, with roughly half under the age of 35. The group, largely at 95%, saw at least 2 movies over the last 6 months. Nearly the entire group said that they were at least somewhat concerned about the current thing that we're dealing with right now. Unsurprisingly, there was a substantial increase in at-home entertainment consumption during the early part of the pandemic, according to the report, which illuminated those viewing choices greatly. Approximately 85% of those polled said that their at-home TV and movie consumption had increased, and to some degree since the outbreak began, and almost half stating that their consumption grew by nearly 50% or more. I'm certain that that's a higher number, but they didn't have a very large polling group. So, anyway. Ad-free subscription streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO saw by far the biggest gains in consumption at 80% following the outbreak, with respondents saying that streaming services they signed up for were Disney Plus and Hulu at 29% and 21% respectively. And you can see the chart here. Close to half said they were purchasing movies on demand from digital providers like Amazon, YouTube, and Apple's iTunes. Following the outbreak, traditional broadcast TV and cable saw the biggest dip in consumption among the at-home entertainment mediums when compared to the on-demand movies from cable providers, on-demand movies from digital providers, and ad-supported streaming and ad-free streaming services. Another takeaway from the study was the split in regards to how those polled believed TV advertisers should handle the thing we're dealing with. Although 45% said TV ads do not need to address the crisis, another 42% felt that some TV advertising should be changed to be more sensitive to the virus's impact. EDO is backed by three-time Oscar-nominated Edward Norton, as I mentioned before. The firm has been making waves in the movie testing sector with their digital polling versus the industry's standard pencil and paper. The polling has yielded more insightful research for those studios that have used this technology. No surprise there. So, as you can see, they are concerned with your viewing habits and how much they've changed. They're concerned with whether or not you'll be willing to go back to the movie theaters, and they're obviously testing the waters for a lot more video releases in the future. Anyway, I think we're going to end up in a situation where, because we won't be revisiting the cinemas until the earliest mid-June, more likely July, that you're going to see some more movies coming to video on demand, VOD, or pay streaming services. So, with that said, hey, what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see a return to the theaters by the movie-going public, or do you think we're going to start consuming everything in our homes and skipping the theaters? So, I ask you that question. Otherwise, thanks for showing up today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have a good day wherever you are. I would like you to stay healthy. Please wash your hands. Spend 20 seconds doing that. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.